And we're live.
Hola. I haven't found the video yet, so I can't comment.
So you
Sorry.
can't see the comments. And we're back.
I really can't. Like, where does it live? Oh,
Right there.
there it is.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Let's see. Thanks for keeping my mind busy this week. I'm glad you're doing two today. There's not two nicer people I'd rather hang with. Thanks, dude. Dave's moved over. Dennis has moved over. Awesome. We got a thumbs up. My guess is we're not going to have as many.
And we're back.
Guess we're not going to have as many thumbs down in this one as we did in the other one.
Don't be controversial.
So hi everybody. How's it going? We have to.
Barry said he's here for Bigfoot.
We had to remember that this was also a new live stream on a different YouTube channel. We actually just did one over
Don't carry over the drama.
Yeah, over on our Dylan Talks Tone channel, and it was a lot more controversial over there. The only thing I will say is, I just watched on Instagram a live stream where literally Machine Gun Kelly was starting a show right now, and he's got his phone with him and he's walking out on stage with it. There are 36,500 people on the live stream.
Isn't that wild?
And not one of those people hated him. And
there was just like pouring hearts.
Yes. And all of those people in that audience
knew all the words.
Knew every word, and they were all screaming his name.
So I wonder how many of those people that were on the live stream were actually also there because they're waiting in anticipation, and
I was watching comments because I wanted to see if there's any haters in there, and everybody was like, "I'm never gonna be able to go to one of your shows in person.
Oh.
This is the closest
I would
I'm
be
ever
the person.
Gonna get.
I would be
blah,
in
blah,
the
blah,
crowd,
blah.
and I would be watching live.
Oh, on the yeah, makes sense.
Because then you're like totally in the know of what's happening.
So, do we have questions already?
No, not questions, but Dennis's comment made me laugh. He said, "I must admit, since becoming part of Dylan and Leslie's groupies,
no,
I've been way more open to listening and trying different music and instruments. I think that is amazing.
Then job done. That is all I care."
Charles says, "I'm glad I stayed up for this. I've not smiled much this time of year. Thank you, Dave and Dennis, for helping me smile tonight." See? Community.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I'm going to just say, I know Charles won't mind. And I know a lot of people really, they'll understand. So Charles, well, unless he doesn't want me to.
I wouldn't say anybody's business ever.
No, it's very cool. It's not, but it's people. I know people would support him. Charles, if you want me to say something about it, let me know, and I will say something. If not, I won't. Anyway, yeah. So we have.
That is for another time in a different place. He said before you asked, though.
Okay, awesome.
Barry's here for Bigfoot.
Cool. So we are in West Virginia. It is raining, of course, because that's all it does every freaking day.
Everywhere. I feel like it's all across the country, and it's definitely followed us.
I think I fixed the leak. I went on the roof today. Well, not on the roof, but it's on the top of the slide. And at where the roof meets, it's just 3 panels that come together, and it's just caulked around it with Dicor. And so I think I figured it out where the moisture was coming in, because you can always tell where water gets underneath Dicor, and I could feel it where the water was. You know how you can always kind of just feel when something's been wet. So it was only a spot about this big, so it's not critical or anything. I think it'll be fine, but I think I figured it out.
I made it critical for him today, though, because how long ago was the leak? And I looked at the forecast today, and I was like, you do know it's going to rain like 4 days in a row. And he was like, oh, I should fix it.
Yeah, and then I'm reading the directions on the Dicor tube, and it's like 4 hours before it's waterproof. Well, I did it at 4 o'clock, and it started raining at 8 o'clock.
7:30.
7:30. Yeah, I guess. So it should be okay. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah.
Jeffrey Egan said he's been loving the pics. Yeah, so we're trying to post more on the Instagram and our
Yes.
personal Instagrams. Everything's linked in the Instagram. But Barry said he's bringing the controversy. I'm not a Bigfoot believer, but it is far more believable than flat Earth.
Amen to that. So, okay, let's talk about some Bigfoot. We went to the Bigfoot Museum
In West Virginia.
in West Virginia.
It sounds like there are multiple across the country.
Yes, because this is a bigger thing. So let me just say, to not disrespect anybody, because I know that there's a lot of people that have put a lot of time and effort into trying to prove that Bigfoot is real and there's been a lot of debunker stuff. The dude in 1970 who dressed up as a suit and then 20 years later like admitted it and stuff. Like, I get, the thing is that a lot of people who believe in Bigfoot still use that original footage even though they know it's fake, which is kind of weird. But anyways, there's a lot of work gone into it. I mean, there are people going out in the woods. They are trying to figure this out. Like, so I'm not, but, and when we went to the museum thing, there was stuff there.
Yeah, it was literally, so I think it's a local thing, and they're like casting molds of footprints and handprints, and
They were big. Feet.
and they're lots of stories. That was my favorite part. Lots of stories.
So they had a 3-ring binder on the counter, and you could flip through it, and it was a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. And they're all pretty local stories. I think this started, in this local vicinity is why it's here. They had an event, their first annual event, and then this little. So the museum is in a gift shop, which is weird, but maybe it's gonna grow.
Mm-hmm.
But the stories were my favorite part, and it is interesting. I was also looking through. There was a bunch of books, and I was like, "Oh, somebody's already published a book, and there's these stories."
Mm-hmm.
And then you realize it's the same guy who's published 5 different books, and I was like, "That feels less interesting if it's the same author."
Yeah, my thing is, I feel like I can understand in 1970 there being very few and far between sightings. I get that.
Yeah.
But I don't get it in 2021.
Everybody's got a camera.
Yeah, everybody's got a camera, and it's a good camera. I mean, a Samsung
Even
Galaxy.
audio, like.
Yeah.
If you heard strange audio, you would record it.
Yeah. I just think that if it was really real, somebody would have got it on camera. Not just some weird smudgy thing that you can barely tell is there by now. Or they would have found a dead one, or somebody would have hit one with a car. Or,
yeah,
there would be, unless it's a government conspiracy.
Ooh, now you're talking.
Because I have read about alleged programs by the government to eliminate cryptids, which is what these things are.
Right. Yeah, and
so,
I think
I don't know.
So one positive thing I think is if it gets you outside and you're not a hunter necessarily, but it gives you, I mean, I know people that say they're going like squatch hunting and they really just want to ride 4-wheelers in the woods. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway.
Yeah, lots of trail cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but if you're into that, it is interesting. I think they're just getting started. I don't have anything to compare it to. We've never done this before, but it seemed like the thing to do here. They also had a monster museum.
Talk to about the monster thing, because I don't totally get that one.
This little baby town we're in has this Bigfoot museum, and they also have a Flatwoods. So wow.
Sorry, everybody.
They also have a place called the Flatwoods Monster Museum. What's funny, I did some research to try to understand what it was. We drive by this like little photo type spot. It's, you know, like when you go to the beach and there's some big chair you can sit in. It's this chair just like in this pull off. And Dylan's like, what is that? What is that chair for? And it's got this weird, and I was like, that's the monster. And he was like, okay. So you have to appreciate that he doesn't always find the same things interesting that I do.
But what's the story with the monster?
So the story with the monster, it happened here, like in the early 50s, I think. And there was these boys playing, and they saw like this ball of fire, and it landed on this hill. I mean, we're surrounded. It's super hilly and beautiful here. They ran up this hill, like, where did that go? They get up to the top of the hill, and there's this ball of fire that they are distracted by, because in reality, when they turn around, there's this figure. And of course, it scared the crap out of them, and they ran back down the hill. And I think it was concerning enough, they called the police. So there was actually police reports done of these 3 boys separately. You know, when you have to tell a story, you get all split up and you have to tell your story. And these kids were asked to draw a picture, you know, like, what did you see? And so, of course, they're sharing this ridiculous story, and everybody's like, what? Draw it. And all of these boys drew the same thing. So it has become like, and of course, then there's been multiple stories since then, enough for them to have this little gimmicky Flatwoods Monster Museum with the little figurines you can get. And they have like, I watched some little video clip about it, and it was like, we actually have a piece of the wood from the tree where they originally saw them. And I was like, seriously? But, you know, that's how those things go. So, Flatwood monsters, Bigfoot, that's the kind of things we're seeing in West Virginia, y'all.
And a lot of trees.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Jeffrey Egan said Bigfoot is the hide and seek champion of the world. They actually had a t-shirt that said that. That was my favorite one.
A lot of trees. Not many teeth.
And he said it's hard to take a good pic if you're scared shitless. That is fair.
Well, okay. I get it.
Fair. Better than Waldo.
Yeah, okay. I get that.
But did you have fun? Yes, we did.
We did. It was, and he also, the guy that ran the gift shop, he's like, you want to see something really cool?
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, have you ever seen the movie Mary Poppins?
No, let's set the stage. The guy does not talk to us.
No,
he is like, does not speak to people. I don't know how he's running a gift shop. I mean, he literally like doesn't.
How many people go in there in a day though?
I mean, we were like 10 on that day.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway, he
doesn't. Because this place
speak.
is like a ghost town.
Yeah.
He
doesn't speak. I mean, he literally like didn't acknowledge us, except like, if you want to go to the gift shop or in the museum. If you want to go in the museum, it's right through there. And we were like, okay, apparently it's free. We can take a picture. You know, like he doesn't say anything. And the museum is just a room off the gift shop, by the way. But so when we come back out, I feel like he was literally trying to like stay busy so he wouldn't have to deal with us. His interest is piqued when you're looking at knives.
Oh, yeah.
So when he goes behind the counter and he's talking to Dylan about knives, and he was like, do you want to see something cool? I mean, we're both like, oh, he's got some kind of cool knife. No.
Yeah. And he's like, have you ever seen the movie Mary Poppins? And I'm like, what? And he goes, check this out. And he pulls out this spoon.
You know,
like a
spoonful
spoon.
of sugar.
Yes. And it has Mary Poppins like stamped into the handle. And he's like, I think the spoon actually came out at the same time the movie came out. Look on the back. And I'm looking at the back and I'm like, what am I even looking for? And he's like, the date is stamped on the back. It's like 1964 or something.
Whenever the movie came out.
Yeah, whenever the movie came out. And he's like, I'm pretty sure this came out when the movie came out. And I'm like, oh wow. And he's like, that is so cool.
I don't know what made him think after we go to the Bigfoot Museum or looking at knives, why we thought we would be like super into a Mary Poppins spoon, but he was really excited about
It
it.
was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Yes, and Barry has a great point too. If Bigfoot was in the South, he'd be mounted on some guy's wall.
Dude, that's for real. I don't
Mr.
know.
Goat said, I like your shirt. This is available in Dylan's shop.
Thanks. Yeah. We have a hat like this too, where it's Dylan. It's like a
Blacked out.
Dylan hat, but it's blacked out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Merch. Yes. We are working on some things behind the scenes regarding that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there may be a site you can already access
Oh, yeah.
called shopdylanandleslie.com. Just saying.
Put it in the comments or something.
Can I leave a link when I'm the person? I don't even know.
Just put it in there. They can copy and paste it out of
No,
there.
I'm saying I don't know if it'll let me.
It's shopdylanandleslie.com. Speaking of things that YouTube won't let you do, I've noticed.
Oh, I can leave it.
Oh,
What? You noticed what?
that my last live stream was so controversial
Oh, gosh.
that YouTube put it on limited monetization.
Why?
I don't know. I swapped around the title a little bit to see if it changed, and it did, so we're good. Apparently not supposed to put the word hate in anything.
That would be wise. Why does it say hate? Why did it say hate?
Because I said the world's most hated guitar.
Oh, see, that's not nice. It's not true either.
Not anymore.
World's most anything.
No, I ordered the most. So anyway, I changed it, and now monetization is back on. Speaking of controversy.
All right, so let's talk about something cool in West Virginia. So let's give a backstory about West Virginia, first of all. So, yes, we've been RVing. Since we've been RVing, I think last year we did 22 states. Mm-hmm. This year we will do
12?
Yeah, 12.
So ish.
I don't know. It's low.
We went slower. More slowly.
And most people only look at this journey, right? Like, what have you done? Like we just started traveling. Well, we didn't start traveling. We just started a different mode of travel. We've done a lot of traveling together well before we did this.
Yeah, the last 9 years we've been traveling together.
So I think we've decided lower 48. Now we've only not been to together Washington State and North Dakota. Previously, it was Washington State, North Dakota, and West Virginia. Because as many times as we'd been to the Midwest and the Northeast, we'd never touched, not even driven through West Virginia.
Yeah, we literally veered over here on purpose because we wanted to come here.
So we came to West Virginia on purpose.
For one reason.
And it was a struggle because there's actually not a lot of RV parks here, which I was surprised.
Well, there's not a lot of real RV parks here.
Well, apparently there's a lot more. They just don't live on the internet. We have found since we've driven around. I don't know how you find these people, but anyway, that's another story. But we want to come here. We can't find a place to be. And then you find a place you might want to be. And this whole state is like a cell phone black hole. Mm-hmm. And we've not been here before, so we don't know if that's true, or is it just because people don't travel and stay here, right? Because the app we use is user driven. So if there's not a lot of RV parks here and not a lot of people using this service, is it because people haven't been here, or is it really a black hole? We don't have personal experience to know, so we're just like, well, we need to be close to a town. So I literally picked this place based on the fact that there's an interstate and a Starbucks right nearby. That way, if it sucked, maybe Starbucks would be the saving grace for internet.
Right.
Even though you can't go in this Starbucks, it's drive-through only. We didn't know that either. So we came to West Virginia on purpose. I wanted to see one thing in West Virginia. The only thing in West Virginia I knew about was the new River Gorge Bridge.
I'm trying to find the video too, so we can comment too.
I thought it was just going to be a bridge. I like bridges in general, and it's beautiful. I was hoping we were going to hit fall. We hit it at a great time. thought it was going to be a bridge. Well, then as I'm like, oh, where do we go though? Like, because it's literally a bridge over a gorge. Like, how do we see it? Where do we stop? And so then at the last minute, I'm like, oh, we just came all the way to West Virginia and I have no clue what we're getting into and I don't know where we're going to be. And I'm trying to find like places to like, can we pull over here? Can we go here? Well, it turns out it's part of the whole national park system. I mean, visitor center, that's mostly closed. Visitor center overlook steps down. You don't even have to hike. Um, so we got these gorgeous views, and then we find out there's this drive. So if you've not seen the 360 video of our drive, you have to check that out because it's really incredible. And New River itself that it goes over is absolutely gorgeous. And there's rapid. Apparently, this is like a really popular rapid place.
There's another video coming out. I might try to get it done tomorrow. That'll probably come out Monday or Tuesday. That is a more in-depth look at this whole place because we took a bunch of video and drove down to the bottom and like hiked to the river and showed all of that. We got to see this kayaker go through these rapids and stuff. It was really cool. So we shot all of that. So that's going to become a video. I just haven't done it yet. It was actually supposed to come out before the 360 video came out, but I was trying to learn about this. There's a learning curve to editing 360 videos, and so as I'm learning it, I had to do it, and then it just became done. So, speaking of that, I got a new camera coming. Probably the end of next week that we will do a video about. Because it's the new DJI Osmo Action 2. Actually, I think they're just calling it the DJI Action 2. So it's new. It just came out. It actually doesn't technically come out until November 2nd. But I think I'll have it on Monday.
Barry's got the puns. New River Gorge is gorgeous. Is that what you're saying, Leslie?
Oh my gosh.
Yes, that's it exactly. So Dennis said is the Blue Ridge Parkway there. I didn't think so because I didn't see any signs, and a quick Google search tells me Blue Ridge Parkway kind of goes through the western part of Virginia. It doesn't come into West Virginia, so no.
Then goes down through North Carolina.
Yeah.
And then South Carolina. Well, North Carolina, Asheville.
Yep.
Blah, blah, like that.
So no, it was not the Blue Ridge Parkway. The drive we did was called Fayette Station Road. I just thought, so if you notice at all, like if the road looks super squiggly, we're like, ooh, that looks fun. But this was really nice and it turned out good with the
awesome
360 camera. We did some stops along the way, pictures. I got to hear rushing water.
Yep.
Totally worth it.
Dave says there's people that bungee jump. So, yeah, once a year they have a thing where they close the bridge down and you can walk across it. And they also have people, you're allowed to base jump or bungee jump off of it that day. It's legal to do it.
And so we actually ran into a couple that live here, which is so cool to me. I feel like people that live close to something take it for granted and don't visit. Like they forget to be tourists, even with. But these folks sound like they come over fairly regularly. They were super nice, and they were talking about the people that jump off and the crowds that it brings. And it was just neat to listen to them because they were like, it doesn't matter. Every time we come, it's like they're excited about it again. I forgot to tell you, Evelyn commented on some pictures of mine. Her family, like her stepfather's family, I think, is from West Virginia. And she said when they first built the bridge, she walked across it. So she's been here before too. And we have some friends that, how I found out about it is we have some friends that travel through all the time, who don't like bridges. And I'm like, oh, what bridge are you scared of? I need to know this, because I like bridges. And she even watched our video and was like, oh, I didn't even know you could drive down. But they come through like late December. So, I mean, I wouldn't probably do that drive if it was icy or snowy.
Oh, yeah. It was super steep and really tight. And I didn't actually have to 3-point because I have a Jeep, but there was like full size trucks. You would have to like 3-point on some of the switchbacks. It was pretty super tight. The other thing too, Dave, is every day, as long as it's open, I think you can pay to walk across the catwalk under the bridge. And it's only like, it's a catwalk, so it's only like a few feet wide, and it has a rail. And they harness you, and there's a cable that, like, safety cable that you. I don't think you could fall out of the thing. I don't think it's really. But it's
high.
800 feet high, so.
Is it 800
I
feet?
think it's 800 feet.
How tall is the Washington Monument and 2 statues of Liberty?
I don't know.
That's what it says. That's how tall it is at the center of the arch.
2 statues. Barry. How tall is 2 statues of Liberty and the Washington Monument? Who will like have it figured out in just a second?
It's just, I mean, I that will be. I'm not good with numbers, but that visual, like,
that's high.
I can't forget that because I've seen both of those things, and I'm like, seriously, that's a long way.
It was high. Yeah, I would have done it, but it was one of those things too, like, because Leslie has this real job. Oh, and I had a live, like a Zoom hangout on Sunday night. So we had kind of like, it was like, we had like a 6-hour period to do this one thing. I probably would have done the walk across thing. Like put my, my helmet or my hat cam thing and the 360 camera and like went and walked across it. But I just, there was just no way to do it during.
What's interesting is we saw some people that were doing it, and when you get started, obviously it's over a gorge, right? So the land is just falling away from you, and they went for a little bit, and I think as long as they were moving, maybe the people weren't thinking about it, but they like stop and take breaks because I'm sure it's all age ranges and whatnot. I don't remember how long the walk is. I mean, it's pretty far just to the other side of the bridge, right? How long's the bridge?
3,000 feet.
Yeah. So anyway, and I think you have to go and come back. I don't know if they pick you up.
Wait.
But when they stopped, we were just watching them. I was like, oh, that is way up there. And they're not even to like the high point for them. And when they stop, I think, and then you take a moment to look around, and there was a lot of like screams, and I think maybe they didn't think about what they got into.
Hang on. 2 statues of Liberties?
Yes.
And 1 Washington Monument?
Yes.
That would be.
I mean, it has to be high if you can base jump.
It's over 1,000.
Yeah, I thought it was like 1,700. Or is that the arch?
It's 1,165 feet tall. If that's the case.
To the under arch, not from the road.
Oh.
That fits under the arch.
Oh, geez. So it's 12. It's got to be 1,200 feet tall then. And the arch is 1,700 feet from end to end. And it's 3,000 feet across. The bridge is 3,000 feet across. We read about all the stats and. Anyway.
And then forgot them, and here we are.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you read about them for the video, and then you just shoot the video, and then you don't.
Yeah, and then you just watch the video.
But I need to edit it first. Anyway, it was fun. It was cool. It was definitely like one of my. I didn't know. Like sometimes she will have like an itinerary, and I won't know how cool a thing we're doing until we get there. And then we get there, and it's like this. She's very rarely fails at that. And every time it's super cool. When you fail, it's typically because like the thing's not there anymore or something. Like sometimes we'll get there and we'll be like,
or it probably would have been really cool, but I didn't realize you had to like hike half a mile, and we're never, not never, but usually we're trying to do stuff after work, and we don't have
Yeah.
time to like get somewhere and get back.
Yeah.
And
It's not that we don't like to hike, but a lot of times the time, because we're doing stuff after work every day. So like, she gets off at 4, and sunset is at like 6:30, and you
yeah,
drive 45 minutes to get there, and then the next thing you know, and you're like, well, if you can't take pictures of it, and you're going to be walking back in the dark, there's no point in doing
yeah.
it really.
I mean, because
So
if you didn't take pictures, did it even happen?
exactly.
Charles apparently is quite the thrill seeker. He would love to bungee a bridge, and then he was saying, I would love to free fall 8 or 10 stories into a stunt bag. That would be cool.
Oh my god.
And then he said, I have an obsession with free falls. I would love to be a bird. As a teen, I used to jump off the 3rd floor balcony to the grass just to fall. I know I am weird.
Yes, yes, you are. That's
Did
cool
you ever
though.
break any ankles or legs or?
So I would recommend, Charles, cliff diving. That is,
Don't listen to
well,
him.
not recommend.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not a medical professional. Um,
Are there medical professionals
I'm
that
not a
recommend?
medical professional, and I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. Anyway, um,
I have to
jumping
put
off
my parental advisory hat on.
exactly. Jumping off of cliffs into water is so fun. I used to live in Arizona for a long time, and we every year would have a houseboat on Lake Powell, and we would park it like next to a cliff, and you would climb up on top of the cliff and jump 50, 75 feet into the water, and it's awesome. Which I guess would be 6 or 7 stories. Yeah.
The funny thing is, we've been places and seen people cliff dive, and people don't think about, like, it's easy to jump off,
How do you get back
but
out?
how are you going to get back up?
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely have to think ahead to be like, if I jump off of there, then this is
Is
how I'm
there a
going
way
to
back
climb
up?
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have, since my body is broken, I don't have the, um, I can't rock climb anymore. I used to do a lot of bouldering and like free climbing and stuff. I had shoes and I did all of that. But I can't do it anymore. My body's so broken that it doesn't work. So for me to jump off, I would have to be able to like, is there like an easy way to walk out or an escalator or something that would be helpful? Otherwise, I can't really do it. I don't know. It would be help. Probably not good for me to jump off cliff into water anymore either.
Sounds like some impact you can't take.
Yeah, if you hit the water wrong, I mean, I've jumped off of stuff so high that I would rather be wearing shoes so it doesn't hurt the bottom of your feet when you hit the water. Like, yeah, that's fun. The thing is, you only go like, it's weird.
Charles said he only broke his ankle once, and he was playing disc golf. My body does not let me jump much anymore because of that. And it's so funny, like, it's always the silliest
The
thing that
dumbest
finally
stuff,
gets you. It's like, man, I couldn't even have a cool story to go with this injury.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Anyway, just to catch you up on our week, that's what we got going.
Yeah.
Where are we going next?
We are going to Fancy Gap, Virginia, which I know nothing about except it's on the way to the next destination.
Yep.
So we don't know what's there. We don't know if there's anything cool to do. I haven't looked ahead. I tend to not do that. This is I mean, sometimes we go places destination based, but a lot of times I'll tell you what our destination is. Water dripping drives him insane, y'all. Our destination is, it started as free stay. So week after next, we'll have 2 weeks free, which feels great. And then I spend all of the budget on the next day. When we go to, I've never been to the Outer Banks, so we are going to right south of Nag's Head. I mean, all the way out there. Literally, I think we'll be able to see the ocean from where we're parked. like literally at the beach. And I know it's going to be in November, but I think it'll still be beautiful.
Yeah, oh yeah, me too. I'm looking forward
So
to it.
we're going to have some sunsets, y'all.
And she's taking the entire week off.
I'm not taking the entire week off. My company gave us the entire week off to prevent burnout.
Oh, that's right. They gave you the week off.
Correct. Which means I don't have backlog to come to.
It's possible that I'm going to take that week off too. I'm going to try to take that week off. I have some stuff that needs to get done before then so that I can take the week off. But I'm going to try to as well. And just totally be beach bums in the cold for the whole week. So, yeah, awesome.
Jeffrey Egan says, free falling is not for me. I've been skydiving 6 times, always with a tether line. Never opened my eyes until the chute opened.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Wow. Oh, also, I am.
Oh, and Charles said, if Dylan wants to mention why this is hard, it's fine. I didn't want to turn the focal point of this stream, and once it's out, that is usually what happens. If not, cool.
Oh.
So I think he's saying it's okay.
Yeah. No, I just out of respect for him, I think it's. So Charles, who is probably, he's one of our more OG followers on the other channel, which means he's one of our more OG followers on this channel. And we've hung out with him in person and stuff. Super cool dude. He's the one that gave me this knife. I don't know what year it was, Charles, but it was Halloween Day that he lost his brother in Afghanistan. So that's why he said earlier that he wanted to hang out with some cool people. And so that's why he's hanging out. And he told me that earlier this month. And I told him I would mention it at the right time because I know that a lot of people really, obviously, respect, especially that sort of loss.
For
and
sure.
So I want to make sure that he gets respected, and just to give him a shout out because he's awesome and he's always around. So.
It sounds like he's already getting a lot of support and some smiles, so that is really,
no, that's good.
Really
no,
cool.
And like I said,
2008, he said.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, you don't want to make a huge deal out of anything like that or embarrass anybody, but at the same time, I think it's the respectful thing to do. That's my motivation for saying something. Anyway.
So I have a funny story I can tell Charles.
Okay.
Because he left. They had to leave early, so I didn't get to tell him what I told you. So Charles, that was the first time we met you, right?
Oh, a couple weeks ago, yeah.
And you remind me of a friend that my dad had named Charles. Like, literally looked just alike. Both named Charles. But the funny thing was, and you'll appreciate this because you're in Kentucky, so like Southern accents. But so every time I see your name now, because I can picture this friend, and his wife called him Charles, like she was super Southern, and she always called him Charles. So now every time I see your name in my head, it's Charles. So.
Wow.
You're welcome.
I will say we are back to where people talk normal.
Yeah. I don't stick out anymore.
We did when we went to Kroger the other night. So they have a Kroger here. It is so small.
The smallest one I've ever seen.
It's so small. It's like literally like a tiny like small town corner grocery store.
Yeah.
But it's a Kroger.
But it just has a Kroger on the front.
Of course we're like, oh, they have a Kroger. So we like put it in the Google Maps and we drive over there. And I swear people were looking at us like we were aliens.
I was so uncomfortable.
Because it was like...
They knew we did not belong. Because it was one of those places you're checking out and the door's right there. I mean, there's like 3 lanes or something. And you like check out and come in the same way. And they're like, hey. They all know each other. So we're just like, you just see everybody looking at you walk by.
Honestly, we've been shopping at Walmart ever since because it's bigger and you can feel like you can kind of get lost in there. And
And they have a better selection.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, because it's funny. There's like nothing. This town, all these little towns are so tiny. There's just nothing here. It's just like little.
We can't get Amazon packages here.
Mm-mm.
Nothing.
There's no UPS store. There's no Amazon drop box for like 80 miles, which I would have thought at least that there would have been an Amazon drop box because it's rural.
So Dennis made a point. There's a Kroger and a Starbucks. That sounds like it would be a decent town, which is why I picked it. Like, oh, this town has some things. Maybe it's not a baby town. Well, it does have a Starbucks. I think it's a normal one, like right off the interstate kind of Starbucks. I don't know who frequents it, but the dine-in is closed, so you can't go there. I was really excited. This is going to sound so silly. They had a Moe's, and I was like, yes, I can have Moe's. The Moe's is in a pilot. And I'm like, I don't really want Moe's that bad.
So there's the tiny little town that looks like a ghost town, a bunch of old buildings and stuff, about 3 miles from here. And then where we are, so this is a first also. We're staying at a KOA. But to check in at the KOA, you go into the Days Inn.
They own it all, yeah.
They own both. So you check in at the Days Inn, and they give you your information, and you drive to the KOA. It's on top of this hill that is basically, it's not a whole town. It's just like a super exit where it has like a Chevy dealer, a Case tractor dealer, a Pilot,
some fast food,
some
like
fast
McDonald's,
food, Arby's,
yeah,
that kind of stuff, and a Walmart. Barry, it reminds me of like the Grovetown exit, where you have like, or no, it reminds me of the Exit 5 exit, where you have in South Carolina, where you have like, there's just stuff just like right here, but then that's it. There's nothing else around it. Like it's just a few stores, a restaurant or two. They have some outlets, but they're all closed.
They were not outlets.
No.
The DMV is in the outlet mall.
Oh, really?
No, that's not an outlet.
That's weird. It was weird. It was this is definitely
Dennis
a strange
says
place.
their Moe's is in a Pilot too. I've never seen that before.
Mm-mm.
Never.
Mm-mm.
I mean, I've seen a Wendy's.
Subway.
I've seen Subway. I've seen McDonald's. This one has Cinnabon. I've seen Cinnabon before. I've never seen a Moe's. I get it. That or the Thompson exit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, very similar. Just like, and there's only just a few things right by the exit, and then it's just boonies everywhere.
Yeah, when you think like, oh, let's drive down this road and see what else is in town, and you're like, oh, that was town.
That was it. Yeah. And even driving all the way to that bridge, all the little towns we went through. I mean, there was a gas station.
Did see some waterfalls on the way. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
But the waterfalls we've seen the past few weeks, apparently, I mean, now it's raining.
As much as it's raining, you would think they all be full, and they're all
But
empty.
everything is low. All the water levels everywhere we've been have been super low. So one waterfall, like pictures were beautiful, and we got there and it was like drip, 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 and I was like, all right.
Yeah. No, it was fun though. We've been having. I mean, we're still having fun. We're still seeing stuff. Even the RV park that we're staying in is really weird because it's like on the side of a mountain, so there's like different levels to it, and so walking around it's really pretty and exhausting because the hills are really steep.
They are. I don't know how some of these people drive down it.
All of
it's
the
exit road, and it's like, ooh.
All of the RV, like all of the lanes, like where you're driving through the RV park, have like all these scrape marks from where people have like bottomed out because the hills are so steep. I'm literally like was driving today trying to like figure out what my route was going to be so I didn't like drag the back of my motorhome when I leave because it's crazy here. But I think I found it. So
strategy.
We have wheelie bars, but I don't want to use them. So.
Anyway, that's the catch up. What have we missed? everybody's like, I've been loving all the pictures.
Cool.
I posted a ton. I don't know how many are on other places. I was just going to look at my pictures really quick and see if I forgot to talk about something. We got to fly the drone finally.
Yep.
So there are some drone pictures up. We got to do the 360 cam. That was amazing.
Yep.
You forgot anything else?
And now it's really, really raining. I guess we're going to know if we fixed our leak.
Winded. Yeah.
I think it's fine.
That's good. That's the right answer.
That's
Awesome.
it.
Well, thank y'all.
Thanks for hanging out,
being
everybody.
Here and for
It's been fun.
following us on all our journeys and encouraging us to continue to share, because sometimes it still feels weird to just talk about life, but here we are.
Yep.
I appreciate y'all though.
Thanks for hanging out, you guys. We will see you next time.